Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures are finally here, and I'm sure there's only one question on everybody's mind. What would that question be exactly? Well, is it a steaming pile of urine-caked, putrid vomit coming out of a moose's anus while a sloth is being ass-raped by a gigantic gorilla covered in fecal-matted fur? Well, you'll just have to watch the rest of my nonsense and find out. Okay, so the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures, unscripted review, as I always do. The Angry Video Game Nerd Adventures is an action platformer game for the PC. And that does not mean politically correct, it means the other one, the computer thing, personal computer. It's $15 on Steam. You don't know what Steam is? Seriously? Google it. Anyway. It's an old school 8-bit style game with, it goes straight down to the music. It's all 8-bit. It's all 8-bit. But I mean, it actually looks a little bit better than an 8-bit game. It's like a 12-bit game. It's not quite Super Nintendo, but it's not quite Nintendo either. You know what I'm saying? For translation, that would be, it's not quite Nintendo, but it is not quite Super Nintendo. If you can't get through my accent, I'm sorry. Where to start? The game's hard. It's hard as fucking balls. Hard as fucking balls. Hard as balls after getting kicked 20,000 times by your ex-wife with a high heels because you didn't try out your alimony check. Shit. So the game's really hard, but it is rewarding. It is fun. It's like, and it's not too ridiculous. Like, at least you get 30 lives on normal mode, so you're not gonna be like, yeah, shit, I died. And then you gotta go and hit game over button. No, you get 30 lives. The game's pretty lenient on normal mode, so I was pretty happy about that. So you can definitely get through the game. The stages are way harder, in my opinion, than the bosses. The bosses, 9 times out of 10, are usually just doing this shit while dropping projectiles of some kind. 9 times out of 10. If you're really good at button mashing, you can easily dispatch the bosses quickly. So I would say the bosses could have been a little better, but the stages are great. So that's good. But yeah, bosses could have used some work. The graphics are like 8-bit, you know, like that pixely style, yeah, pixel style. And that's always nice. I'm a big fan of the pixel style. Pixel style, not Gangnam Style. Fuck out of here. Sigh my ass. Anyway. So the graphics are like that, so if you're into that kind of thing, you'll be down. And if you're a fan of the nerd, you're most likely a gamer that was from that time or enjoys games from that time. If you're a younger feller, listen to me. So obviously you're gonna like the way the game looks. Has that old school aesthetic going for it. The music is great. It also has the old school aesthetic. It has like a Mega Man feel to it with those you know, like that. You know what I'm talking about. It has those cool drums and stuff. I really like the music in this game. It's all fast-paced and action-y, and it really gets you in the mood to play the game. Every time you die, which you die a lot, it gives you like an ad-libs, randomized, generated message that usually goes somewhere along the lines of, this, I'd rather suck the fecal matter of a dying vampire's corpse than play this shitty butt fungus of a game any longer. That's generally the gist of it, and it's usually pretty funny the first 20 times, but then you're kind of like, okay, I get it. And then they start talking about toes and stuff, and gross. I don't like toes. I mean, you can talk about getting butt fucked by a zombie corpse all you want, that won't bother me, but when you bring toes into the situation, not my thing. But yeah, any fan of the nerd is gonna love this game. There are so many callbacks to so many of his jokes. There's just layers upon layers of freaking, you know, Angry Video Game Nerd jokes. It's a ton of them. There's no way to escape them. They're all in there. This guy, scrotum guns are here. The lava sharks are here. The spikes, the goddamn death blocks, the blinking blocks. It's just a huge tribute to the nerd, and it was very well done. The gameplay controls are solid, tight, everything responds well. I haven't played with a mouse and keyboard, but I play with my controller gamepad thingamabob, and it works very well. You know, like usually sometimes indie games have like some, you know, it depends on who's developing it, but these games have very good platforming elements and just very tight responsive controls, and that is a huge plus for this kind of game that has very precise platforming segments. I don't really know what the storyline is. If you're coming into this game looking for some kind of storyline, I couldn't even I haven't exactly, I'm like on like the last stage, but like there's the opening sequence, and then what I'm assuming the ending sequence. So if you're looking for a game with a storyline, then go fuck yourself. There's also some good replay value. You can go back to the stages and find hidden characters like the guitar guy, Bullshit Man, and Mike Matei, and they all play differently than the nerd, so sometimes you can use other characters to reach certain places you couldn't reach, or you can use them to find secret passageways. What more is there to say, really? It's just a solid action platform game. If you like games like Mega Man, stuff like that, definitely give this game a buy. It's good. It's only 15 bucks. It's cheap. I mean, whatever, man. You gotta have 15 bucks. If I have 15 bucks, you have 15 bucks. That's my logic. So, yeah, kudos to the developer. Good job. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun. Very rewarding, very challenging, but not too ridiculous. It doesn't border on the insane, so it's a fun game. It calls it a delightful little game. So yeah, my final score, I don't do halves or points and frickin' 0.256s and all that nonsense. I go 1 through 10, literally nothing in between that, and I start 5 as average. So if you're like, oh, you only give it a 6, that literally means a game would be above average, but I'm just using that as an example. My final score for this game would be a 7 out of 10. Why 7 out of 10? Well, because when you pause the game, the music restarts. Seriously. Nah, I'm just kidding. But no, I feel like the whole bosses could have been better. That's really my biggest complaint. The bosses could have been better. That's a huge deal for me. Bosses are a big part of a game. And not to mention sometimes sometimes there's a lot of bullshit that happens. Like there's this stage where you can't see ahead of you, and there's just death blocks everywhere. And it's like, well, you can't really plan your platforming route, and it's just, I don't know. I'm not complaining that it's too hard. I just think that's bullshit. That's about it. 7 out of 10. It's above average, but not like awesome. But it's above average. 7 out of 10 is my final answer. Say your final answer. My final answer. All right, you guys. I'll see you in the next video.